Hi everyone, my name is Paul Lohr. I'm the Financial Coaching Coordinator here at Twin Cities Habitat for Humanity. Today we're going to be talking about down payments, why they're important, and how to save for those down payments. So when you're purchasing a home, a lot of times you will have to make a down payment on the home that you're purchasing. So it's good to know what your lender requires. So a lot of mortgage lenders will require some sort of down payment. Typical down payment is anywhere between 10 to 20% of the purchase price of the home. So that can be a lot, but there are some options that are a little bit more flexible for qualified first-time home buyers, where you can put a smaller down payment on the home, even as low as 3 or 3.5%. In addition to maybe being required by your lender to make a down payment, something else to know is that it also benefits you to make that down payment because you're reducing your monthly payment, meaning that when you make that down payment, you're borrowing a little bit less than what you would have without making that down payment. So by borrowing a little bit less, the overall amount of interest that you pay over time would actually be lower because of that lower amount that you borrowed. So having a down payment is great and can benefit you, but how do you actually save for that down payment? What options are available? The first thing you could do is try saving on your own and find ways that you can generate that income, or find ways where you can cut some of your spending. So the first thing is to create a budget and look at kind of what your current spending is. So essentially your budget is measuring all of your cash flow coming in on one side and then all of your expenses that are going out on the other side. So in order to be able to save and recuperate some of that income, your spending has to be less than your earning and what's coming in. So that budget will be really helpful in looking at all of your expenses to see where do you land. Are you actually spending just as much as you are making coming in? Are you spending over? What are the areas that you're spending on? What are ways that you can reduce that so that you have that little bit of income that you're able to save? So it's not, there's no right or wrong way to do it, and it's just kind of looking at what works for you and also being realistic with yourself. A lot of times when I work through budgets with clients, many of them, when we look at their budgets, there's a lot of excess income. So it's looking like they should have this ability to save, but in reality they don't. So it's looking at what you think you're spending money on, but also what you actually are spending money on. So then you can actually find those rooms where you can cut down and opportunities to save. So once you've created that budget and found ways to cut down expenses, found ways of where you can save some of that money, now it's time to set a savings goal and stick to it. So maybe you do your budget and you're able to cut some expenses, limit some spending so that you can save about $25 a month. So set that as your goal, and if you can meet that $25 a month, that's great. If you can save even more a particular month, that's even more rewarding because you're making faster progress towards your goal. So once you're saving that money, what do you do with it? Where does it go? Kind of depends on you. Some clients that I work with find it kind of distracting if they see the money day to day, because they'll be tempted to touch it, to use it. Others, they find that rewarding because they're kind of seeing their progress stacking up and growing. So it really is what works for you. If you're the one that is going to be distracted by that money and seeing it being there, being tempted to use it for something that you probably could hold off on, I'd recommend putting that money into a separate savings account that's not from your everyday checking that you look at every day, that you tap into so that it's not a distractor to you. Another way is finding ways to see if you can increase your income. potentially getting a second job or just a temporary part-time job to increase that cash flow. Sometimes when you're doing budgets, things are really tight. You are kind of just spending for the essentials, and there just isn't a lot of things that you can cut out. So that's where you look at, how can I increase my income so that I have some of that extra cash to be able to save. Maybe you have a skill that's you can market, offer your services, and that's a way for you to also generate extra income. Anytime you get a bonus, any gift money, or your tax refund, that's a great opportunity to save that money aside and use it for your home purchase. So it's not something that you would be getting anyways, and so you're putting that aside and not touching it because you're able to do just fine with just your regular income. And then just going through your closets, going through your house or apartment and selling things that you no longer need. A lot of times we accumulate a lot of things over the years, and we never go back through and look through our items, and a lot of times there's things that we don't need anymore and they're still in good condition. We can sell that for additional income and cash. So that's one way, is looking at what is your own potential to save. How can you do that? Is it realistic? Sometimes it may take a long time depending on how much you're trying to save. So if you're saving on your own and you're doing $25 or $50 a month, just steadily over time each month, that may take you a while to reach that 3 or 5 or 10% of a purchase price. Other resources that you can look into are down payment assistance funds. So there's many down payment assistance programs available in Minnesota. Some have low interest or even zero interest options where you can borrow to make that down payment on your home. And then many cities or counties may offer down payment assistance money to encourage homeownership in their certain areas and cities. So funding can also, in addition, come from the state level. The Minnesota Homeownership Center is a great resource. They are an umbrella organization that provides resources for nonprofits and homeownership advisors who work with clients, but they also provide a lot of great information for first-time homebuyers. And on their website, they have a down payment assistance tool finder that you can use, and you can find that tool by going to www.hocmn.org/DPR-tool/. So with this tool, you'll go in and just enter general property information. You might not know exactly the specific address or purchase price, but you can put in general information like a zip code that you want to live in, a city that you want to live in, kind of what you want to purchase around, and then enter in information about your household and income, because some of these down payment assistance funds are based on the makeup of the household and the income level. And there will be some additional questions asking about if you are a veteran or anyone in your family has served as in the Army, and then asking about special professions like, are you in like any healthcare or police, educator, those types of things. And that tool will give you, after you put in all that information, it'll give you some possible down payment assistance programs that you can look into. So definitely review all of those and connect with the programs themselves to learn more and to find out what kind of assistance they'd be able to offer and help you with. And then one last quick thing about down payment assistance funds is that a lot of times they will have an education component to it. So not only are you getting the funds, but you may be required to take some education courses in order to receive that funding, and it's all information that's geared towards first-time homebuyers. So you may hear the term homestretch thrown around. For first-time homebuyers, a lot of times lenders and down payment assistance programs will require that you take homestretch or some kind of first-time homebuyer education. So this may be an additional thing to think about, but it will only benefit you and it will prepare you as a first-time homebuyer as you go through your home buying process and journey. So just a quick recap, understanding down payments, how much you need, and then making a plan for how to get that amount saved, or looking into down payment assistance programs so that you are prepared, and then finding out which ones you qualify for. So thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And for more first-time homebuyer tips, visit our website at home.tchabitat.org.